was just the main road.
Yes.
That was the airport. We used the main road as the airport. So I went that night, and the plane came in with quantities of rice and all kind of stuff, you know, for relief. And then that was distributed. Priests would come from all over Biafra and take everything over that night and the next day. So I said, well, look, I want to get out. I want to go with you to Sao Tome, because Sao Tome was the center. You know, you got everything from Sao Tome.
Right.
The planes brought stuff into Sao Tome, and then these people came in brought them in at dead of night. And suddenly when I was at the airport, I said to the pilot, I said, look, can you carry me? Oh, he said, certainly, certainly. No problem. I'm going back with an empty plane. So the pilot and co-pilot, and I waited there for a while. He said, we won't go for probably an hour or two because we have some business to do here. And in about half an hour's time, the Nigerian planes came over and started bombing the airport.
Oh.
And it was terrible. Bombs were falling everywhere. So he rushed to where I was and he said, Father, bombs are falling everywhere. The safest place for us to be now is in the air. He said, come with us.
Come on, let's go.
Do you want to come or you want to stay here? He said, I said, oh Lord, I'll come with you, most certainly. And then I went to the plane and we took off. And then after a few minutes, the co-pilot turned around and he said, look, Father, I don't know how you people prepare for the end of your life, but we can't gain altitude. Something is wrong with the plane. So we are going over Port Harcourt from Uli, and then we are going to Sao Tome. Whether we will get there or not, I don't know. So you people, I think, know how to prepare for death. He says, we face this kind of thing every day, but I must tell you, I don't think we'll get to Sao Tome alive. Because
how old were you?
So we have...
How old were you?
I was, let me see, in what would I have been in I suppose I was probably 31, 32, wow. Yes.
And the end of life is coming.
Yes. Wow. So we got over, went over Port Harcourt. And then he said, look at those flares. He says, that's the anti-aircraft.
Going after you. Yeah.
After. Yes, but he said, we are very lucky.
Below.
We are too low.
Yes.
They can't hit us. If they're going over us. So we went all along, around Port Harcourt, the whole way out. And then finally, when we got near to Sao Tome, they turned to me and they said, Father, we have a much bigger problem. You know, he said, landing, he said, we have no brakes. The problem that we couldn't go up in the air was lack of brakes. And that has caused us not to have any brake. And he said, either we go in from the sea and we will crash into the mountain in Sao Tome, or we go from the mountain and we will go across into the sea. But he said, if you know how to pray, pray. I was sure that this was the end. And we got on and we landed. He decided to land from the sea.
Yes.
And see what could happen. After a while, suddenly, and the whole back of the plane went up and down, bang. And we couldn't move. Something went wrong and we were there. And we got out of the plane, safe and sound. Wow. And then
miracles.
The two of them said to me, said, come in, let's have a steak. So I said, well, if you are going in, I'll go in with you. But I said I wouldn't be able to eat. I'm in a terrible fright now. Nonsense, he says, Father, this kind of thing happens all the time. And they went in and had a huge meal. And then the people in charge came and said, well, look, that plane is not good, but we have other planes. We want you to go again into Uli Airport because we have a lot more stuff you are to take in. So they went again into the airport.
That was being bombed.
Yes, that was being bombed. But they went in again and took in more relief.
Wow.
And they really were brave people.
That's
And
sacrifice that
then
people need.
when I got into Sao Tome, Father Butler, Billy Butler, who was the principal of this the big secondary school in Suka, he came and met me because he was staying in Sao Tome to meet everybody, any priest that came off the planes. And I stayed a few days, and he said, well, it's going to be difficult to get a plane now to wherever you want to go, to Europe. But he said, is there any other? I said, well, look, I would love to see my brother and his family in what was then Rhodesia.
Yes.
And he said, oh, well, he says, fine, I'll get you on a flight. Within a day or two, you will go to Angola, and you'll have to stay a few days in Angola, and you'll get a flight across to Mozambique, and you change flights in Mozambique, and you will go to Harare.
What?
So I went there, and my brother met me at the airport, and I stayed with him until just before Christmas. Yes.
And did you end up coming back from there, or what?
No, so I went there, and from there I flew to Ireland.
Okay.
And then my senior brother, Alistair, he was living in Ireland at the time.
Right.
And he had a lovely house in Ireland, near Kilkenny. And I stayed with him and spent Christmas there. And then the war ended in early January.
Okay.
And then I heard about all these people being expelled. After being some time in prison, they sent them all out. And they had their names on the list. So they went to the embassies. They first of all went to the French embassy and got the names of all the French priests in Nigeria that were working in Biafra.
Wow.
Then they went to the British embassy, got all. They went to all the other embassies, United States, Canada, everywhere. But I, at that time, had a St. Vincent passport. And we are a tiny little miserable island.
So they didn't bother with
And
that.
we
have an embassy.
We have no embassy in Nigeria.
Look at that.
So when I then was appointed to the seminary in England to be to work in Watford, North England, actually Radlett, just outside Watford. That's where our big seminary was in those days. And at that time we had lots of vocations in England and everything was booming. This was 1970. And I worked there 1970 and 71. And when all that was, during that time, I never thought for a moment of going back to Nigeria because, I mean, I wouldn't be able to get in. I thought my name would appear somewhere. Then Bishop Donald Murray from Makurdi had then been made a diocese. And Donald visited us in Radlett, and he said, look, Angus, I used to know him very well when he was
you knew
a
him
priest.
when you were down in Port Harcourt?
He used to come to Stella Maris and stay with us because he liked playing golf very much. And we had a very good golf field in
Are you a good golfer?
Not myself. He used to come regularly and stay with us. And he said, Angus, I want you to come back with me. But I said, Don, there's no way that I'll be able to get back. They'll throw me out because I was in Biafra. Well, he said, you come and see what happens. So I went to the embassy, the Nigerian embassy, and they gave me a visa right away.
Oh, wow.
And they didn't ask me whether I had been in Nigeria before or Biafra or anything. And when I landed, I phoned before going, I phoned the superior of the Jesuits in Lagos. I had known him very well from before because they had made a foundation. They had started a secondary school in Port Harcourt. So he said, well, look, I'll be there to meet you. And when I landed in the airport in Lagos, they said, go sit, you are a Catholic priest, the man said. He said, look, bring the lists of all Catholic priests who are in Biafra. And
Wow.
they went through, and I nearly fainted. They went through the British embassy, did each embassy. But he said, where are you from? I said, I'm from St. Vincent, the island of St. Vincent in the Caribbean. Oh, and they looked everywhere. They
There was
said,
no
your
St.
name doesn't
Vincent.
appear anywhere here.
Go ahead, come on in.
You're quite all right.
Come on in.
And I was in without any problem.
Lovely. That's
And when I went to Don Murray, first of all, Ekandem heard that I had arrived. He wasn't a cardinal then.
Right,
yeah.
He was in charge of Port Harcourt. So he came up to meet me and he said, look, you were in Port Harcourt with Bishop Okoye earlier on. He said, I want you back in Port Harcourt. So he took me down to Port Harcourt. And I stayed there for a few days, but I said, look, I got a visa to work in Makurdi. And I phoned Don Murray. He said, you come straight to Makurdi. You don't go anywhere else. So I went up to Makurdi.
That was 72.
That was 71.
71.
It was the 1st of July 1971.
Then you come to Makurdi and you go to meet Bishop.
I went to meet Bishop and he said, you are going straight into Mount St. Gabriel's. He said the principal of Mount St. Gabriel's has just been transferred to Australia. He was a layman.
Yeah.
Eugene O'Connor.
Right.
Eugene O'Connor is going to Australia. He's going to work there and you are to take over St. Gabriel. I said, no. I said, I've been in education since the day of my ordination and I want to go to a parish. I said, Uday has no priest at the moment.
Yeah.
So I said, could you possibly send me to Uday? I said, Father Iveva is in Uday, but he is a deacon and he can't say mass and I would like to go to Uday. He said, nonsense, you're not going to any place like Uday. He said, you have a vow of obedience and you go straight to Mount St. Gabriel's.
Yeah.
And you do so immediately. And there's no question about it. So I went into St. Gabriel's and stayed there for 43 years.
Wow.
Yes.
So
Wow.
O'Connor was there at St. Gabriel's. Did he leave before you came or you had a
No,
transition?
he was there. I met him.
Yeah, you met
He was
him,
there.
yeah.
And he was just getting ready to leave.
And that was 71, 72.
71, 72.
Yeah. So the first class
he
you
left
had...
in 71, but the
Right.
first, I then took over in September
of 71.
71. And I was there until, well, it was, what day?
214.
214, yes, 214.
I'm trying to remember the first class you admitted
Mm-hmm.
at St. Gabriel's. That one, by that time it was a day school.
A day school, all
Right.
completely
Everyone
day, there
was
were no
day school.
That
borders.
should be 71 now.
Hmm?
No,
October
it
71.
would have been 71 September.
September was the
September.
We
first.
started, wait,
We started in January.
we started in January,
Yes,
We
yes.
started in January. It was later on things were changed.
Change, yeah.
We started in January, so 72 January was the first group that I accepted.
Because I heard that the first set that graduated was here, the man was here 64, 69.
No.
Oh, they came here the other day.
That day they
Yes.
did this thing from
Yeah.
Lafayette.
Yeah.
69.
69. The first graduates of St. Gabriel.
Okay.
Yes.
69, then 71. I think the first set was, let's see, I'm trying to see
They
Father's.
started in 64.
No, I'm still trying to find Father's first set.
Okay.
Father's first set was Avenia, right? Was that the-
Avenia, yes.
Yeah, that was a,
75.
no.
Avinia
Was the
had
second.
come, he was in Form 2 at
Right.
that time.
Okay.
He was in his second year, Avinia.
He graduated 75.
Yes. Avinia was there before me.
75.
Before you came in. So the first people you admitted was actually, let's see, who was ahead me?
76.
Probably my set.
76.
No. The first set no, you mean graduated?
Graduated 76.
No,
Maybe it's
it
72.
was January 71. So, but his first set admission was
Was January
72.
72.
Yeah, that was our
yeah.
first set, 72.
Avinia was already there because
Right.
he must have come in
Okay.
71.
Right.
He was
So
in
77.
Yeah.
So that could have been my set.
Okay.
Your set.
Asom, I mean, it was, I'm trying to see who was on my set. You have, actually, it was Asom,
Asan, yes.
myself, and you have
I
an
remember
Igbo.
Asan very, very well.
Yeah, troublesome.
Ah,
Ochibo. Ochibo was the same.
yes.
So we're in the same set. Ochibo, Asan, myself. There's a guy that went to the US, Igbo guy that was really good. I'm trying to figure, I can't even remember other people on the set. Yeah. So my story, when I came to, I think I was supposed to come in early, and so I got accepted, but I couldn't come in. So the next year, I came in and started singing outside of Father's office every day. Every day.
Yes.
Father, every time Father comes, I'm like, look, I'm coming to this school. And then I think you ended up giving us an exam, and you took one person, and that was me.
I see. Yeah.
Now, I stayed outside of your office for months. I would just work and come there. Then there was a guy called Alexander Gadi. You used to speak French with him.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so you come there, you speak French with him, and I'm like, Father speaks French? So I stayed there outside until then.
How you gonna go? I think, yeah, let's go across right now.
Okay.
I hope you can give us a lift. Or listen, is there room for the three of us in your cars? If not, we take our car.
We have
You drive us across.
There's room for, you can join them, while
Okay.
I will join the pickup.
Yeah, we have enough. We have enough room.
yeah.
Are we going far?
Just
No,
quite
just
up,
across the road.
just after the
Quite
church,
up.
Then
after the
come back and
college.
we'll all go. The driver should wait. We'll just drive the car there.
Okay.
We all go in one car. The driver
Okay.
will wait.
But we told them at quite up. First of all, we said we were 6 for lunch, and then when you said there were
You
3
were
more,
3.
so we told them there are 9. So they say we have prepared everything for 6, but and that was
3. He said it was for 3, then I told him we are 6.
Yes, 6,
Uh-huh.
6, yes.
Yes.
So there's lunch for
6.
everybody.
So
There's
we'll all go
lunch.
now.